والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
In Surah As-Saffat, Ayah 79, it said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Salamun ala Nuhin fil Alameen. Peace be upon Nuh among all the people. All the people. Everything, everybody. In that, when you read the description and what happened with Nuh, we know most of the story about Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, of how patient he was and how much he tried with everything. And then in the end, is this on? Oh, sorry, it's not on. In the end, when all failed, Allah went to the choice of the tufan, the flood, because absolutely no one else is going to believe. No one else. It was done that for all these years, these people are not believing. Only few that was with Nuh alayhi salam. And here Allah's talking about. He said, when the flood happened and all that took place, after all that, it said, بعد أن عم الطوفان وجه الأرض. When the flood took over and covered everything else, and Allah basically decimated all the kafirs, all the kafirin. Who was left was Prophet Nuh alayhi salam and whoever went with him in that ship. We all know that story, but when you go into much more detail of it, and when you think about it a little bit further, it makes you think about Allah's power and Allah's justice and Allah's divine. And when Allah decide on take the matter, it's time for it to be taken care of, how it will be taken care of. In split second, before we even blink our eye, Allah can take care of the issue if that issue is there. So the only one left with Nuh alayhi salam was whoever got with him on that ship. From Nuh, from those people that were with Nuh, those few that was left with Nuh, that's how we became all of us. All this, anything, all Bani Adam, everything you see right now existed really from Noah, because all the way from Adam to Prophet Noah, I think everybody was dead. So all was gone. It was from Noah it started. That generation started. Whatever from Prophet Noah and those people that was left with him, this is where all this that you see right now, 7-8 billion people. That's what's left. That's what all from Nuh alayhi salam. In that ayah, in that surah, Allah says, Salamun ala Nuh fil alameen. Allah is making memory for Nuh. Allah left it to where all the people, all kind of people, don't matter what race, what color, what religion you are, whatever, Allah made sure everybody is saying Salam ala Nuh. All religion believe in Nuh. All religion. That's how good Nuh was, that Allah promised him that He's going to leave him that peace and that salam, that greeting on him, that people would mention him in a good way. Then here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left that nice memory of Nuh with all the people. This is what little explanation of that ayah will talk about. ثم يذكر سبحانه أنه ترك لنوح الذكر الجميل. Anybody that came after that, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're ugly or good looking, or whatever, you're black or white, doesn't matter. It's everything goes back to Nuh alayhi salam. So Allah left that memory for Nuh and the rest of the world. This is how Allah sometimes rewards certain things. You look at these days and you see people, you look at many times we talk about it, you look at very, very wealthy, rich people. They think they own everything. They do own a lot of things in this life, on this land. But in the end, where are they going? Everybody going down to that grave. No matter how much you have, no matter how powerful you are. I mean, Pharaoh thought he was God. His partner Qarun said, "Uhyi wa umit." He said, I would make people dead or alive. They got to that level, that level of arrogance. And where are they now? Where are they in history? That's Allah's justice. That's Allah in Quran saying. But look at the difference. Allah left that memory of Nuh alayhi salam. So all the people, because of his patience, because of his continue believing in Allah, no matter what happened, he still have that patience, and that's why patience is so important in Islam. It's one of the main things in Islam is we gotta be patient, no matter what happened with you. That's why you don't see if someone is religious, someone believe, someone is so much at piety, they don't give up on life. No matter how much of a hardship you go through, no matter how difficult things get to you, you don't. That's patient. Things what happened with Nuh for all these years, Nuh was still patient, was still waiting, was still trying to get people to believe, no matter what. So this is what Allah left for Nuh in all between Al Alameen for all the people. Every ummah, every nation would say salam to Nuh alayhi salam. Different, maybe a different way, maybe different things at different era or different religion would say differently, but everybody believed that Nuh was something, was a good prophet. Also, Nuh represent those people who are good to themselves. Nuh represent those who are patient, who are mu'min, who are continually doing what is right, what is their religion ask of them. They're always also doing that. That Nuh was an example for us of how hard it got to him. He was still patient all the way to the last minute. And they're good to people. That's Noah's people. Another little description from there would say, إذ جاء ربه بقلب سليم. This is Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. When Allah is talking about Ibrahim, say, إذ جاء ربه بقلب سليم. He approached Allah with a clean, good heart. He approached Allah with a heart that not believing in anything but Allah. No matter what happened, Allah will save me. That's what we call these days tawakkul. Tawakkul when you rely on Allah. When you say, you know what, I have Allah, no matter what. Who do you have? I have Allah. Even if you don't have anything, you say, Allah's there, Allah's with me. That's that's Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. When they want to throw him in fire, it didn't affect him. He know he have Allah on his side. That didn't matter. No matter what you do, say we have Allah on our side. So here Allah is saying, "Is ja'a rabbuhu biqalbin salim." It's our heart what matters. It's our niyyah, what we hold inside of us. That's what matters. How we approach things is based on what we have inside, how we believe inside. This is how we approach things. This is Allah saying, this is Ibrahim. This is how he approached. This is how he came towards Allah. Qalbin salim, pure heart, completely pure heart. إذ جاء ربه بقلب سليم. And then when it's mentioned about those people that their heart is not with religion, is not with the oneness of Allah, is not with Allah, and he'll say, فقال إني سقيم. Surah Al-Saffat. إني سقيم. It's like just disgusting. Cannot stand that. That's just something cannot be standing. You cannot stand that. When the heart is feeling good, with the belief in Allah, when the heart feel like Allah will be on our side no matter what, Allah is there for us toward the end. You know, we always talk about, say, in the end, we're good. No matter what happened, that's tawakkul, that's belief. In the end, we're going to be good. Allah's there for us. Allah gave us that promise in the Quran, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah gave us that. So no matter what. And then also, people, when you know in your heart, when you see zulm, oppression, and you don't like it, even if you can't do much about it, but even if you see it and you don't and you don't like it, just in your heart, you're not pleased with what's happening. But you're not saying, "Oh, I don't care. That doesn't involve me. It's not around me. It doesn't affect my life." No, when it affects you, just as long as it affects your heart, this is, on the right side. On the right way. This is what it is. ويستوحش من الظالمين. Imam Ali alayhi salam said, ثمرة الأنس بالله الاستحياش من الناس. Imam Ali alayhi salam said, the best, the fruit, the top, or whatever you pick out of anything that is good of the iman, if you would pick something in iman, the top of that, when it ripened, the iman was ripened, got to be what it is. Imam Ali saying, that's when you feel like you just like people don't matter anymore. The oppression, anything bad, people don't really matter anymore what they do, because that's your belief in Allah. you're relying on Allah no matter what. So what I want to say is just everything back, it starts from the heart. It starts from within. Our belief, our tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, relying on Allah constantly, tawakkul. We always have in Islam, hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. When we leave the house, we say tawakkaltu ala Allah. If you want to open a business, you say tawakkaltu ala Allah. Whatever you do, you want to drive your car, you say tawakkaltu ala Allah. That niyyah, that tawakkul, that constantly reminding us that everything is in the hands of Allah, no matter what happened. We've seen it. You look at on the street, you'll be driving somewhere, you see an accident happen, someone got injured or dead. That person left that morning going to work or going home or going another trip, not knowing they may not come back. But it's all in Allah's hand. That's why we say tawakkaltu ala Allah. When you rely, it's all in Allah's hand, whatever happened. وصلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وأجل فرجهم عن أعدائهم. These days it's Eid al-Ghadir. Eid al-Ghadir is so important in Islam. All the division, anything you see these days between Muslim, all the division between the different sect of Muslim, between anything that you see going around nowadays that's affecting Islam, it all started with the Saqifa, right after the Prophet died. And after that, it's what happened with Yom al-Ghadir, the day of Ghadir. Had that been the way it's supposed to have been, had they followed up with what the Prophet asked them to do and what the Prophet, his wasiyah was, is with Yom al-Ghadir, that Amir al-Mu'mineen is the Khalifa after him. Had they followed up with that, these days, you'll see most of the world as Muslim, the Islam, the Muhammadi Islam. Islam Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So it started there. Now, whoever didn't follow back then, believe it or not, those people are going to be judged on the day of judgment. Those people are going to be judged. Those people are going to be judged because whatever happened nowadays has an effect what happened back then for the decision they take. It's not just a political. I want to be in charge, or this person want to be charged. It's not that. It's the leadership of the religion. It's the guidance of the religion. It's the way the religion is heading to which direction the religion is heading. Who is going to lead that religion going forward? That was the decision when they messed it up. That was what took place. The consequences of ignoring the event of Ghadir at the time. One of the elements that ended up creating much chaos in the Muslim Ummah for many years and generations was the lack of framework in leadership. We see it these days. They say, oh, this is a dictator. Well, he's a dictator because of what happened back then. He's a dictator because nothing was done right back then. That's why you see dictatorship these days. That's why you see family like in Saudi Arabia, the country belonged to them and it's named after them. All the money belonged to that family. If you're born from Al Saud, all of a sudden you have plenty of income. You don't have nothing to worry about. But the rest of the people know they have to work for it. So what happened then affected everything that's happening these days. The people when the people in the Gulf country or any other country that has leadership like that, dictatorship like that, anything happened then. When you see people, sometimes you watch on social media and they say, well, the Emir said that, then we just have to follow the Emir. That's because that's how they've been taught from back then. They made it sound like this is religion. That's opposite to religion. That's not the way it's supposed to be. So some of those, what happened, those consequences, it's, who was to rule and guide the Muslim Ummah? This is very important. Who was to rule and guide the Ummah? A guy that doesn't know as much or a person that knows everything? A person that used to say, Saluni qabla an tafkuduni. Who could say that? Who could say anything? He used to say, Imam Ali used to say, ask me about what's in heaven. I know a lot more than what I know in earth. And he knows everything on earth. So why would not a person like that lead the Ummah versus someone that doesn't know? For example, first Khalifa. He used to get up. It's known. It's known. Even in their books, it's known. In the Brothers Sunni book, it used to stand on the podium and say, "This is not for me. It's not for me, you guys. I'm not really fit for this position." He used to say it. It's in the Sunni Brothers book. And then second Khalifa. It's in all over our books and their books. He would say, "Lawla Ali lahalika Umar." So many times he'll say, "Oh, this issue, I don't know how to resolve it. Go to Abul Hassan. Abul Hassan is the one that's going to be able to resolve that." So many incidents to mention with that. So why would someone like that lead if they're not if they don't have the capability versus Imam Ali that could lead, and that's the wasiyah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And that's what left that confusion and that vagueness, that vacuum in choosing leadership and how to choose leadership. This vacuum that they left, or that misguidance of how to choose a leadership, still exists till today. Sometimes some of them say they acknowledge Ghadir and they believe it because it is in their book as well. But some acknowledge it as, oh, just Rasulullah said, oh, just, yeah, this is Amir al-Mu'mineen, I love him, so you guys love him. Wa alaikum salam. So some want to translate it to put it lightly, and they say, oh, just, love Amir al-Mu'mineen. They say, oh, and then they tell you, oh, we love Ahlul Bayt. No, you love Ahlul Bayt, even for us Shia. You're born, you love Ahlul Bayt, you have to follow them. It's not, someone like me born as a Shia, you grow up, yeah, you love Ahlul Bayt, but it doesn't mean love them. I love them in my heart. You gotta love them in your heart. You gotta follow their footsteps. That's what it means, love Ahlul Bayt. You gotta follow it. You gotta follow that road, that path. You gotta follow it. That's what they say. You wanna be one of our Shia, one of our followers. You have to follow that way. So Yawm al-Ghadir, that's how important it was, and that's the major the division that they made in the Ummah. So this vagueness left that. Who we're gonna choose as a leader? How do we choose a leader? With all the qualification or just anybody? The was it something that all the Muslim Ummah, like they say, how they said it after that, after the Saqifa, they said that, oh, we all decided and then we made the bay'ah. It was about 4 or 5 people when they decided for the first Khalifa. The second Khalifa was chosen by the first Khalifa. Third Khalifa was chosen by the second one. Just so you know, a lot of people think, no, it was a shura. It's not a shura. The first shura was between 4 or 5 when Ahlul Bayt was busy with the Prophet. I don't want to go back to the Sahib. I want to stay on the day of Ghadir. But that wasn't shura. So how do you decide how to choose a leader? The Prophet gave us a way. He gave the most fit. He said, this is Imam Ali Khalifa. So is it by voting? Is it by, shura, what they say? Is it all the Muslim ummah would choose the leader? Imagine these days, like, we're all over the place from all walks of life. Who would choose the leader of Islam? You need someone that's qualified. Is it by the people of Medina? Is it by, consensus of those people that was back then? Is it depend? Is it Ansar? Is it Muhajirin? Who's going to decide the Khalifa? So that's how they turned this thing around, just to not follow what Dave Ghadir was meant to be. That's our great Eid. That's our Eid al-Akbar. This is our most important day in the history of Islam after when the Prophet announced that. That wasn't just a regular announcement. If it was exactly this confusion that the likes of, Muawiyah exploited everything. That's how, from that is what led to Muawiyah take over. Muawiyah appointed his son killed Imam Hussein, Sayyid Shabab Ahlul Jannah. He knows that's the grandson of the Prophet. He knows he's Sayyid Shabab Ahlul Jannah. That the Muslim people around, they know he's Sayyid Shabab Ahlul Jannah. They thought, oh, he's the Amir, Yazid, and we'll just follow the Amir. What can we do? Nothing we can do. And that follow all the way to these days in the Gulf countries. You see it around all the time. That's what led to that. That decision that they made there led to the killing of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to. So killing of Imam Hussein, the retribution to that and the punishment of that is going to go back all the way to Yawm Ghadir, to Yawm Saqifa. That's going to go back all that. Everybody's going to be judged on that. they have something to do with the blood of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, because they didn't follow what the Prophet said on Yom al-Ghadir. Lack of any form of political framework is what took the Muslim Ummah from the golden period of the Prophet leadership of about 50 years, all the way, that 50 years between the Prophet till Yazid and killed Imam Hussein. That's what led to killing of the son of the Prophet, the grandson, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. A lot of people would like to believe that Yazid and the rest of the Bani Umayyah just came out of nowhere. No. Muawiyah was appointed by the second Khalifa. Second Khalifa appointed Muawiyah, even though he used to appoint different Khalifa for different area. But he gave Muawiyah, if you read in the books and the story and the narration, he gave Muawiyah an absolute power over Sham. Sham was very rich and very powerful. He gave him absolute power. He can decide and do whatever he wants. So this is not just something, oh, appointing Khalifa, he ended up being bad. No, no, no. That was from knowledge, from knowing. This is the guy. Everybody knew Muawiyah hated Imam Ali. Everybody knew Muawiyah hated Ahlul Bayt, period. These people never believed. Him, his father, his mother, everybody. They never believed. Abu Sufyan fought every single battle against Rasulullah. Every single battle. There's not one battle that Rasulullah fought or war that he fought that Abu Sufyan wasn't against Rasulullah, either leading or fighting or conspiring or doing anything. There's not one battle. Every single one of them. Read history, you see every one of them. And then they tell you, oh, then in the end he ended up entering Islam. After what? He's scared that he's done. There's no option. He entered Islam, start conspiring from within Islam. In the name of Islam, start conspiring on that. There is a strong connection between ignoring the event of Ghadir and the dark days that the Muslim came to experience under Umayyad ruling. If you watch the news these days in Syria, you see the same thing. These guys, some of them are so ignorant that they're proud. They say they are Bani Umayyah. Bani Umayyah is back to Syria. Bani Umayyah is back to Sham. They're very happy that they're Bani Umayyah. So ignorant, not knowing that Bani Umayyah, all of them are going to hell. Even in the Sunni book, not our book, even the brothers' Sunni book, they say Bani Umayyah going to hell. Everything they did was against the Prophet and against Ahlul Bayt. So there's strong connection in there. This only touches on a little political side of the issue. Imagine the religion side and how affected religion side. Affected religion side that Ibn Taymiyyah said anybody that's not of the Bani Taymiyyah, Ibn Taymiyyah way, they're kafir. In Islam, if you tell a Muslim you're a kafir, and they do both shahada, then you did kufr yourself. You cannot tell another person that do two shahada that he's a kafir. As long as he does two shahada, he may not believe in anything else. He cannot. That's for Allah to decide. After he did two shahada, Allah decides that. Well, Ibn Taymiyyah said we're kafir, all of us. Anybody, Shia, Alawite, Ismaili, even other Sunni, if you don't follow their footstep as Bani Umayyah, you're a kafir. They believe in slaughtering you. That's all from Day of Ghadir. That's the decision that was made on Day of Ghadir. These people ignored and they thought it's something they could just get away with. Remember, Ghadir Khum, even all the narration, average about 100, 120,000 people were present. I was watching for Sheikh Ahmad Salman the other day. He said he visited that area. They say, how could all these people here? He said, I visited the area myself. It's between set of hills, mountains, and the way it is created by Allah somehow that once you're in there, he said, once you speak, it have ripple effect that you can hear it in any other side or around the area. He goes, it doesn't matter if you're 3 kilometers away. You can still hear me if I talk. He went there and he tested himself. Sheikh Ahmad Salman, he said, I've seen it. I went myself to see what happened. All those people are witness to what happened. When they didn't believe and they didn't give bay'ah to Imam Ali, anybody that didn't is going to be judged on Judgment Day. Allah's going to say, you were there when the Prophet said, this is the next Khalifa. This is the next leader of the Ummah, but you didn't do anything about it. Whether they stood aside or they fought against the Imams, they're responsible. They're going to be judged for it. Because that not only affect their time, it doesn't affect, this is very important, doesn't affect just the time that they're living. It affect anything all the way. Imagine you have a family, you have kids, you're raising your kids, and you give any direction to your kid. If you give him the wrong direction, and him or her thinking this is the right direction, they carry that. They move on with it. They grow up with it. They raise family based on that belief, and this go down all the way for your great grandkids. This is where the importance comes of certain decision of certain teaching. That's how it lead to this. These people back then led to what they believe these days, all based on that day of the day of Ghadir, when it happened. So it's very important. These 120,000 people were there. What happened? Couldn't they rise up? They were all scared. They were all just quiet all of a sudden when things had changed. What happened? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you say something? You know, some Sunni brothers. I'll finish with this. Some Sunni brothers or alim, they they want to justify things in a way and make it easy. They say, if that Ghadir Khum was to appoint Imam Ali, not just say, oh, you know, you have to love Ahlul Bayt. If that Ghadir Khum was to appoint Imam Ali alayhi salam as a Khalifa, they're saying the Prophet was just in Hajj. Why didn't the Prophet do it in Mecca? Why didn't the Prophet do it in Hajj? Also, some Sheikh will explain it. Will say that will take it from the Hajj, from what Hajj is, the message of Hajj. Wa alaikum salam. That will take from the message of Hajj itself. Plus, where Ghadir Khum is, it's a crossroad where all the people are going to Hajj. They're going different direction. Wherever you're going south or east or whatever, you meet at that point. Everybody crossed that. And if the Prophet intention was just to tell everybody, hey, I love Imam Ali, go ahead and love him. ما كنت مولاه فهذا علي مولاه. They're saying if that's the case, just to say, oh, love Imam Ali. Why would the Prophet put 100,000 people in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the day, put all of that, put all these people in this heat, exhausting heat, just to say, oh, love Imam Ali? They all know. They all know love Imam Ali. He's been saying it all his life. That was an important message. That was a very important, decisive message that has to be delivered on that day. Plus, there's other incident. When you read the story, there's incident that happened before. They were plotting to kill the Prophet. They're plotting to do something to the Prophet. And if he decided to make the announcement in Mecca, they might do it in Mecca. They don't want any bloodshed in Mecca. So to surprise and shock everybody, when he didn't make the announcement in Mecca, they thought, okay, it's done. There's no announcement. Because remember, the Prophet was always saying, I'm going to leave you with something. I leave you with something that you got to follow. So it wasn't announced in Mecca. The Prophet, it was a surprise. It was a good trick to everybody. Gathered all these people right there, set me up to get up and speak, brought Imam Ali and said, Man kuntu mawlah, fahaza aliyun mawlah. Fahaza aliyun mawlah. Allahumma wali man walah wa adi man ada. This is how important Ghadir Khum. So when we look at certain incident, we got to see the impact of it for years down the road, not just what's decided then. So Ghadir Khum is one of our best and biggest holidays that we should celebrate. It's that important. وصلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على
محمد
محمد
وآل
وآل
محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.